Hi guys, welcome back to my channel Lush Gardener. So here we have another beautiful specimen. This is called as Euphorbia white ghost. I'll put up the scientific name on the screen because white ghost is something that is commonly used for this plant. Now a lot of people also call this as white ghost cactus, but let me tell you, this is not a cactus. These don't belong to the family of Cactaceae. These are from the family of Euphorbiae. This is something that I recently learned, because all this while even I used to think that these are all cactus, but there is a difference. Now the best part, which makes me really happy, is that this plant is native to India. Basically the South Asia and mainly the Indian subcontinent. This plant is very easy to grow. It has the variegation, so it requires a lot of light. As and when the plant starts to grow, of course you can offer a good amount of morning direct sunlight, but when the plant is very young, because I have recently received this plant, the roots are not very well developed yet. It will take some time. So until then, it is going to be kept in indirect bright light where there's a lot of intensity. You can even keep it under the green shade cloth as well when it is very young, because a lot of sellers will sell this in a small piece, because this plant tends to grow really large. So ideally a lot of sellers tend to sell small cuttings. So when the plant is small and still getting acclimated and adjusted in your environment, keep it in indirect bright light, and as and when the plant starts to grow, you can offer early morning direct sunlight. Now I wouldn't offer afternoon direct sunlight. Again, I'm not very sure how the afternoon sunlight will react with this plant, because it has a lot of variegation. If the afternoon sunlight is very strong, high chances that it might happen to get burnt. So it's better to be on the safer side in order to maintain the beauty of this beautiful plant. Offer a generous amount of indirect bright light and then slowly start to acclimate it to morning direct sunlight for around 5 to 6 hours, and that's going to do quite well. Again, we do not need to be worried about fertilizers. They will do well in poor nutrient soil as well. Watering remains the same when the soil is completely dry. You can go ahead and do a watering. It will start getting the growth on these sides. I think I'll put up an image on the screen and you'll get a fair idea of how it tends to grow. And talking about the soil mix, I have used the same soil mix, which is loose, porous and well draining. The same soil mix that I use for my succulents is what I have been using for my cacti, and they also have been doing quite well. I'm going very slow with cactus because, as I said, this is something very new, but cactus is ideally quite easy even for beginners. The only thing that you have to keep in mind is, just like succulents, you do not need to water them a lot. They don't need a lot of direct sunlight. Like if you receive a good amount of indirect bright light, which has a very good amount of intensity, they will still do quite well, because most of these cacti are green in color. Let me show you these. So these are all the cacti that I have. They have been in indirect bright light before. Now they are in morning sunlight. I did a very slow introduction to morning direct sunlight because, as I said, I was just starting off with cacti and I was not very sure. Now, even though cacti prefer a good amount of sun, but I prefer to do a slow acclimation because they have been purchased online. They come in the box. They have been in the transit period where they have been in the dark box. So I prefer to do a very slow introduction. Indirect bright light tends to work out really well because the intensity in my place of indirect bright light is almost as good as direct morning sunlight, the mild sunlight. So there's a lot of light, and they have been doing quite well. I haven't been watering them a lot. I rarely water them. Probably once in 3 weeks or once in 4 weeks I water them, and they have been doing quite well. I was quite worried whether I'll be able to handle them or not. This one I had got a cutting from my neighbor. This is the bunny ear cactus. I absolutely love this cactus, but do you see all these polka dots? You have to be extremely careful that you do not touch them, because there are thousands of small little thorns, and if they get into your skin, trust me, it is a pain to get rid of them, because it's very difficult. Unlike the others that have large thorns, you can still pull them out if they impel into your skin, but these are very difficult to get rid, so you have to be extremely careful. If you are planning to do a repotting, if you're planning to get a cutting, I would say use a cloth make it like 3 or 4 folds and then hold it, because if these tiny little thorns get into your skin, it is very difficult to get rid. You won't feel like, you know, it's there in your skin, but every time you rub your finger or your hand, you are going to get that pain, because it's very difficult to notice when they get into the skin. I have dealt with that, and because when I seen this cactus for the first time, I thought these are some kind of velvet thing, but I didn't know that these are thorns. So I learnt a very painful lesson, so you have to be extremely careful. These will also, they tend to put out pups. They put out pups on the edges. It kind of looks like the ears of a rabbit, like the bunny rabbit. I think I'll have to search for the scientific name, because I don't think that's going to be the scientific name, but I will definitely search for it and put it up on the screen. And rest of them have been doing quite well. This one, the fairy castle variegated, as I showed you this last time, it's doing fantastic. So far these cacti are doing quite well. I'm going to get some more, especially the Euphorbia varieties, because they are more easier and they tend to grow vertically taller. So let's see how it tends to work, but I'm going very slow because this is something very new to me, even though I had these lot for almost 2 or 3 years, and they have been doing extremely well. Unlike cactus, I have to be very, very careful, because last time as well, while lifting this one, I did get pierced with one of the thorn. It's quite sharp, so this one is also doing quite well. So there are so many different types of cacti. I have been looking out, I've been browsing some of the images, and some of them are absolutely attractive, very, very beautiful. As you can see, this one does not have any thorns. This is a different variety of cacti, I guess, or probably not, because as I said, I recently got to know that Euphorbia is not a cacti, so there's a lot to learn about these guys as well. But as and when we go ahead, we will get to know more about it. And you can see all these small little tiny buds. These are all flower buds that are starting to come up. I never thought that I will ever have a cactus that's going to flower, but you can see that it's an entire circle of buds around the crown area, so it's going to flower very soon. This one is not, the thorns are not very sharp. They are more like bristles, hard bristles. So everyone has a very unique personality altogether. Also wanted to share this. You can see there are a lot of tiny leaves as well growing. They start to put out leaflets on the edges of the plant. Probably once it grows bigger, you will be able to see. As I said, I am getting in few more of the same variety, so that they are much easier to handle. Anyways, they are quite easy. They are not very fussy plants. Of course, the pot is temporary, as in when it starts to grow, the pot size will also change. These tend to grow really large. So that's about it. I hope that you liked this video. If you did, please hit the like button, and if you're new to my channel, please consider subscribing to it. Until then, take care, stay safe, and keep planting.